Hello, everyone. Welcome to Go Global World GGW Sharks 23rd event. It's a weekly pitch event where we have so many talented startups and investors meeting and trying to find ways to create innovation happen. As usually, I will kick this off very rapidly and I will let you pitch as soon as possible. If you're first time at Go Global World, you're probably wondering, what is Go Global World? Go Global World is a startup ecosystem, and this is the platform where we connect relevant investors with relevant startups. We recently became product of the day on Product Hunt, and this is the reason of this is because we have created a platform where you can conveniently decide faster where you have the right connection with the right investor or with the right startup. You have one pager, very conveniently, you can have the right information in front of you about an investor, seeing that it's probably the right fit for you. An investor can see all key information, validated by many investors, by the way, that's relevant to investor to decide whether it's worth to connect with the startup or not. And we are not stopping just connecting, we are building AI matchmaking here. And so the system is connecting the right startups with the right investors by many criteria, including the basic ones, the verticals, the stages, the business model, focus geography, and many more. But more than that, these are your public one-pagers. As a startup, you can share this with investor, containing all key information investors want to see from you before taking decision whether they want to connect with you or not. And investors can share their public investor pages, where it's not just a static page. It contains button apply for funding, so they can allow you to apply for funding, and automatically the system will match investor criteria against startup criteria and will notify an investor if there is a match, and startup will also be notified, and so you will be able to continue in the chat. And more than that, it's not just connecting, it's also data, it's also statistics. You will know what's happening with your profiles, with how many people view you, what is the conversion rate into the deal, into the connection, and so much more. The platform is evolving rapidly. Every week we are shipping new features, helping investors and startups to find each other in the most relevant, convenient way. So that's it. Now, starting GGW Sharks. If you would like to see our platform, I'll send the link, or you can go on our website, goglobal.world. But now let's see our investors at GGW Sharks 23. We have Arpan Ajmera, Bill Reichert, Daniela González, Jeremy Barr, and Matthew Stokey. I will let investors to present themselves in a second, but now let's talk about the rules. Keep yourself muted all the time, except for investors, as I already mentioned before, and raise your hand to pitch. If you want to pitch, you'll get 2 minutes for your elevator pitch without slides. And we are asking only startups who would fit the criteria. It's a new startup and with sales, either IP or and a scalable business model. We cannot help traditional businesses. You are free to stay if you're not having traditional business, scalable business model, but we ask only startup with scalable business models to pitch. Respect your time. It's a 2 hours event maximum. And if you are a member of our platform at Go Global World and subscribe to this, you have the priority to pitch among the first. And if you didn't pitch last time, just shout out in the chat to me and my team, and we'll let you pitch also among the first after our subscribed members. Now, if you don't get a chance to pitch, email us after the event, and next time we will give you priority to pitch, because we want to give the opportunity to pitch everyone who is willing to pitch. Now, what makes your ideal 2-minute elevator pitch? Keep it as a story and get to the point of what you do. And of course, tell the investors why you believe you are unique. Investors also want to hear about your traction. This is where you can stand out. And if you pitched before, we recommend that you don't pitch every week, but you should join every week. And maybe once a month to the same investors. But you have to, of course, say what significantly has changed since you pitched last time, to not to say the same thing to your investors. Now, that's it at Go Global World on my end. This is our contacts, goglobal.world. And if you can reach, you want to reach out to us, info@goglobalworld. And you always can find me on our platform. I'll drop the link in the chat.
Sure. Thank you, Daniel, and appreciate it. And welcome to all of you wonderful entrepreneurs. Looking forward to hearing from you. My name is Bill Reichert, and I am a general partner at Pegasus Tech Ventures. Pegasus is a global venture capital firm. We have about $2 billion of assets under management, and we invest in pretty much all sectors and all stages and almost all geographies. So we're very wide open. But as you might guess, we're also, very selective. So apologies for that. One of the things that we bring to the table that makes Pegasus unique is we have a network of over 40 multinational corporate partners that for whom we are a source of innovation for their strategic innovation programs. And so we like to connect startups with one or more of our corporate partners to help them accelerate their success. So that's the Pegasus model. We also run one of the largest and richest startup competitions on the planet, a competition called Startup World Cup. And if any of you are in the Northern California area, we're actually running our Silicon Valley regional competition on August 3rd. If you missed the memo, the application deadline is this coming Sunday. Sorry if you missed that memo. But if you're interested in competing on stage in Silicon Valley in front of an audience of approximately 500 investors and others, for the chance to go to our grand finale and win a $1 million grand prize, then go to startupworldcup.io and find the Silicon Valley regional event, apply, and look forward to seeing you there.
Fantastic. You should join this event and the startup competition that Pegasus organized. This is so awesome. Thank you, Bill. Jeremy, your turn.
Yep. I am GP at Montelier Capital. We give out $500,000 to $1 million check sizes on average. I run Rocket Mindset, founder and leadership coaching. I've been at, so when I'm listening to pitches today, I will be listening for the brevity, listening for the clarity. The traction is number one that I'm looking for. Team is number two. I'll give some feedback where I can, using my experience. I've been at $1 million, billion companies, D2C, B2B, public and private, wrote artificial intelligence, managed teams and teams of people, and done and managed nearly every role in a company. And so I will try to give helpful feedback in the pitches. And then if it's not in my investment thesis to fund, I have a global investor network as well. So
fantastic. Thank you, Jeremy. Great to have you too in here. Matthew, let's go.
Hi, I'm Matt. I'll put my LinkedIn in the chat so you guys can all connect with me. This is, I think, my 9th time doing this event. It's a lot of fun. You get to meet a lot of really cool people, a lot of interesting companies. I'm generally industry agnostic, but look for the largest market opportunity. Also do a bit of business strategy consulting. So if any of the companies are not quite there with the business strategy, feel free to talk to me.
All right. Thank you, Matthew. Appreciate that. Arpan, your turn.
Yep. Hey, everyone. Looking forward to hearing all of your pitches. Quick background. I was an entrepreneur myself, exited that sort of catapulted me from engineering to the venture world. I've been doing VC for about 5 years. 1 year at ZX Ventures, which is a corporate VC arm of Anheuser-Busch InBev, and then 4 years where I'm currently at VU Venture Partners. We're an early stage fund investing in pre-seed to Series A companies with geography and sector agnostic. And yeah, I mean, apart from that, I also help run a community of engineers. So if any of you guys are looking for engineers who want to work on early stage or want to work with you guys at early stage companies, just hit me up and I'll help you connect to some really baller engineers.
Fantastic. Great to have your partner with us as well. So, and moving next to Daniela. Daniela, you're going to kick this off today's session.
Thank you. So it's my first time in the event, so I'm really excited to be here and to meet you all guys. I am part of the finance team at Cultivo. Cultivo is a company that exists to accelerate finance to regenerate nature. And we do this by building portfolios of high quality natural capital and that generate healthy financial returns and that are also good for nature and society. Like our goal is basically to unlock the supply of natural capital at scale. I have a finance background, particularly investments and banking.
All right, thank you so much. Great to have you with us. And now let's get started. And before we get started, I will put startups on the main stage. Just be aware that there is camera in here. And so if you are very close, you're getting big. If you're like under the table, you're getting small. So just be aware of that. So we can see you properly. And yeah, so you can talk human to human here. Now, the first startup is going to pitch is Simon Anderson. Simon is based in Australia, Perth. I recently spoke with him. So it's like the other part of the world for some of us. Simon, you ready?
Yeah, absolutely. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you got 2 minutes. Go for it.
Fantastic. Hi, everybody. My name is Simon. I'm the founder of Sways. Now, I want you to think about your current experience with social media. So at the moment, just like you, your social media is full of content that is not from your friends and family. And just like you, I use social media to hopefully see my friends and family. For this reason, I created Sways. So Sways is a platform where you can request or prompt content from your friends and family. So instead of scrolling through a ton of different feeds and not seeing them, you can send them a prompt through our platform that creates a video. And with that video, it is attached a surprise filter. So you pick that filter, and then now they create a video that has that filter on it, and it's a surprise for them. So the first time they see their experience, it's a fun, engaging experience that they can have with a video, and then they can send it back to you. I've seen my friends so much more by using my app Sways than I have on other social media content. So what have we done so far? Well, we've launched the app a few weeks ago. We have a couple hundred people on the platform using it, and we are ready to take it to the next stage. So what do I need, or what do I want from you guys? Well, I want you to download it. Everybody, investors, anybody here, jump on the platform, add a few of your friends and family, and I can promise you that you will smile or laugh out loud, because that is the experiences. My biggest mistake right now is I haven't filmed enough people using it. So I appreciate the time where it's out there, and we know that you have a great experience when you use it.
Fantastic. All right, dear investors, your questions.
Is this more like Facebook or more like Twitter?
It's more like WhatsApp or Viber with a social experience. So it's built around a messaging platform.
So we've heard this, I mean, we've heard this story, several times over the last several years, this issue of clutter in your social media and all that. And there have been a couple of companies that tried to do this, ping out rather than waiting for your friends and family to, send something in.
Yeah.
You reach out to them to get, to say, hey, what's going on or whatever. So we've heard the story before. So other people have tried to do this. Did you, were you able to research other social medias other social media companies that tried to do this? And apparently they failed because we don't know about them.
Sure. Yeah, no, great question. So a great example is Be Real, more on the success of a prompt, right? So Be Real sends a prompt once out a day. They've had some success with that. One of the main differences is what else is attached to that prompt. So are you just requesting one photo or one video? I can see how that can be tedious over a period of time. So what we've done is we've attached augmented reality, face filters, and all of those experiences with the platform. So every time I send you a Sways bill, you're not going to know what is behind that video or that photo, but it's personal. So you know me and you go, oh yeah, I'll do it. And you follow that guide, and then it's a surprise experience that you have. So every time it creates a new excitement of how you're going to use it and how you get it from your friends. That would be our key difference in that example.
Yeah. So you've got to figure out the right cadence, right, for everybody. Is that, I mean,
Yep,
are you
absolutely
about that?
Yeah, absolutely. And then so the way that's done is how those filter or prompts are created for each individual. So I might not send you a specific one, Bill, but I might send it to another friend because I know what their interests are and I know how they want to experience. So my good friend, I might be teasing him. And then for my wife, which I use it with every day, it might be something that's very nice and with flowers or changing the background and things like that.
But it's using human intelligence, not artificial intelligence. Is that what you're saying?
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. It's personal intelligence of how you interact with your friends.
And then how do you monetize?
Yeah, so there's multiple different ways. So you could use the general advertising aspect of in the feed when we have a feed, which we don't right now. There's also getting access to additional filters or experiences. You can pay for that. But the number one way that we're going to be using this is as augmented reality gets into retail. If I'm Nike and I like a hat, I can send that hat to my friend. And all of a sudden, they have an augmented reality hat on their friend. They've got a video, a photo of it, and then they can start purchasing through that. And we're just at the beginning of how augmented reality can be used in retail.
Okay.
Another example, if you have time, is in Australia, there's a lot of tourism. So Destination WA could have a filter where it's the back of Rottnest Island, which is one of the islands around here. And so they can use that as encouragement. We also have games that can be part of it as well. So cookie companies can create games and I can send that to my friend and prompt them to play a game with me.
Okay. Thank you.
Hopefully that answers that question.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you. Are there more any investors interested to connect with the startups? So you guys,
one question.
Yeah.
I guess like how a lot of the social media is about exploration, right? Like that's how people spend 4, 5, 6 hours on these Instagram and WhatsApp and all of that. So how do you, like with the current cohort of users, what sort of engagement are you seeing? And then what strategies do you have for people to keep coming back and sort of not get bored, right? Like how many times are you going to sort of do the same thing again and again?
Yeah, great question. So with only a few hundred people on there, we have about 15% daily active users. So about 30, 40 people are using it every day. Now, the main reason of how we're getting people back is with the, I guess you could say, the gamification of those prompts. So a lot of the time, my friend will send me one and I feel naturally inclined to send him requests to get one back. So most conversations that people are having, they're sending 2 or 3 prompts back and forwards to each other, adding new filters. And when I say filters, new experiences continuously in the platform, which would include challenges. So a great one that we're building in the near future is the floor is lava. So we know how viral that went on social media platforms. Well, with Sways, you can prompt your friend to have that as a challenge. So instead of me being with him, I can send him, it says the floor is lava. The platform starts recording him, augmented reality. Now they're jumping on their couch and they're trying to jump up a tree and have this social experience, which is then shareable in the platform and in other platforms.
all right.
Does that answer that question? Yeah, and there is also many examples of other companies and how they did it and what ways we can do that better, for sure, if you'd like to chat more.
All right, thank you. Other investors would like to connect with an entrepreneur. Okay, thank you so much, Simon.
Thank you.
If any of the investors would be interested, I will definitely connect you by email, and please stay up till the end if you can. It's very late at your place, but so exciting to see you among us. Now, the next person, thank you, Simon. The next person is Josh Langer. Josh, are you ready? You got Josh?
Yeah, I'm here.
You got
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Hope all's doing well? Jeremy, how are you doing?
Nice to see you, Josh.
Good to see you as well. So I'm Josh Schlanger, and together with Victor Gartbich, who's on the line as well, we're the co-founders of Cloud X-Ray based here in the Bay Area. Cloud X-Ray is an enterprise B2B SaaS service that ends empowering software engineers to be more focused on what we like to think of as revenue generating activities by leveraging generative AI to automate tasks such as like documentation, reporting, R&D, and troubleshooting activities. Why are we in this space? So Victor and I have both spent many years, working in small and large companies. And then during that time, we saw a common set of patterns emerge with respect to engineers needing to work on non-revenue generating activities. And we want to really help those organizations be better. So we've talked to 50 to 60 different software engineering leaders about this particular problem. And they've all said, hey, when can we start using this service? This is a problem that we're having today. So how will it work? So Cloud X-Ray will connect, discover, and capture everything about organizations' applications, infrastructure, and network, including changes to those resources by connecting to your public cloud providers, source code management solutions, and a number of other engineering systems such as Confluence, PagerDuty, Slack, and others. Once we build this central source of truth for our customers, we'll apply generative AI on top of that so that we can, automatically, create documentation or reports, let engineers ask questions via like ChatGPT so they get a better understanding of their systems and what they're doing, and they can troubleshoot if they need. So where are we at in all this process? We've completed our product requirements and system design. We've developed really, fairly in-depth product description, and we're getting ready to start MVP development. We do have 5 design partners lined up, and we're in discussions with others, and we have about a dozen other companies who are interested in joining a private beta when we get there. And then finally, we're looking to raise up to $3 million in safe notes. And more specifically, we're looking for a lead investor at this time. The funds will be used to build out the MVP product up through GA. And we anticipate 10 to 20 paying customers during that period. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, dear investors. Do you have questions?
You said that you were working on the MVP?
That's right.
Interesting. I like the company. I like the idea. But I'd be more comfortable if you actually had the MVP and I could kind of see it and kind of, actually, see what it does rather than having you kind of describe it.
Sure. Well, we can connect, and when we get to that point, we can.
Yeah, definitely. I'd like to connect and kind of keep in touch, and then when you have that MVP, we can kind of talk about it further.
Sure.
We have 1 shark in. All right, we'll connect you after the event. What about the rest of the sharks?
Well,
Yeah,
Josh,
I will. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I will say I worked with Josh at a billion scale company before we were both in leadership there. He's really, really good with what he's talking about as far as the technology. So it's exciting to see him here today. So I will kind of say that. Yes, this does sound like the typical pitch that we get as investors a lot of times, where it's like it's pre-product and we're kind of looking to see that traction first. But whenever we don't see traction, we go to that number 2 element of the team. And so as far as like Josh and his skill set, I know that is there. And so I'll be interested to follow up with you, Josh, and just see where you are with team and everything else too, because you are in that area. So I'd be curious about what is your price point for the product?
Yeah, so we're looking sort of in the annual contracts in the 50 to 60K annual range. We are targeting larger enterprises. We do think this is a solution for more complex organizations who have engineering organizations of at least 100 engineers or more, right, with multiple services. So we feel like 50 to 60 at the low end. It could obviously go up depending on the size.
Cool. Yeah, and you have experience in those areas. Cool. That's good for me for right now.
Your sharks are in. What about the rest, Bill?
Yeah, I'm again, it's really tough given how early you are that you really, really need to give us some evidence that you've done something that shows that it works. And so, to be honest, Josh, what you're saying sounds like something that a lot of people could say. We're gonna build this, process automation on top of all the wonderful AI that's out there, and we'll throw in an LLM in there, and it'll save a whole bunch of time and money. It's just hard for me to get excited until you show or can provide some evidence that you're doing something that nobody else can do, and that what you are doing actually works. So that's what you're also hearing this from Jeremy and Matt in terms of sort of the traction, the proof, the evidence point. Do you have any sort of evidence about both your unique capability to do it and the fact that you actually can do it.
I think, Josh, even if if you highlight some of your experience, right? Like that's something that you didn't say in your pitch that I know is that you've managed teams of people. You worked at multi-thousand people organizations and managed 100+ engineers. That's something that you should say in your pitch. So if you want to go ahead and answer, Bill, yeah.
Yeah, look, so yes, I've worked at large organizations. Victor's worked at large organizations. In a normal sort of investor pitch, we go through our backgrounds and history. But I think the traction point is, you're right, we haven't built a product yet, but the traction point is that, in those 50 to 60 interviews, like of various individuals across multiple, organizations that we've talked with. For example, we've even talked to PayPal yesterday, right? There's definitely interest and desire to sort of explore and see what we can do here. And it's a pain point. Like these people are saying, we have a problem here. We want it to be solved. And we're saying this is what we believe we can do. To your point, can anybody go out and do that? I guess sure, but they don't have the experience that both Victor and I mean, we come with a combined, 60 years of experience in the industry. Like that's nothing to, shake a stick at. We are not people who are looking to find a problem. We've seen it and other leaders are validating it.
Mm-hmm. So, okay. All right. Good,
I mean, I hear you. Like, don't get me wrong. I hear you, and I get it. You want to see, real traction, real product, and fair.
Well, and then again, I mean, I don't know if this is sort of the next evolution of RPA, and is this something that in terms of competition, is this would UiPath be saying, oh yeah, we can do this, or is this something that is some quantum leap beyond what sort of the last generation RPA companies, were, have been trying to do? Is that a fair question?
Are you asking me, could those companies, go and do it? Sure, but are they really focused? One of the things we've heard throughout the process is be hyper-focused, and we're hyper-focused in solving this problem for software engineers and specifically make them be able to, the focus is revenue generating activities, and that is writing code and solving business problems. It's not doing documentation, reporting, and all these other things. Yeah. Could there be a future where we do, expand a lot more? Sure. But I don't think anybody's solving it for software engineers. And even if UiPath came in and said, yeah, we could do that, or some similar solution, I just don't see it. I mean, they would have to do all of the things that we're talking about, needing to go do.
Well, in parallel, separately, we have heard a number of companies that are, there's a pretty famous company out there whose name I'm forgetting that automates the code documentation process. That's kind of one of the new big things with generative AI. It's now already a commodity, right? I mean,
yeah, we're not looking to do code though. That, just to be clear, we're not looking to
documentation of your code. So who help me out, guys? So there's a one of the spokes off the generative AI world is looking at your code and writing the documentation. Can you?
But that's that's just one aspect. I mean, that's fine, but the code is only one aspect of what's going on, right? So there's a ton of other bits of information. How much work gets done in Slack that can actually write this, system description with respect to whatever service or product you're building, right? It's more than just looking at purely the code aspect. But look, competition is good. I agree with you. I think competition is great.
Thank you. Thank you. We're moving on. What about Daniela and Arpan? Are you guys seeing all right? Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Moving on. Thank you, Josh. You got 2 sharks in, and we will connect you after the event. Don't forget to share your startup profile here in the chat, so we have more investors in the chat, and they potentially can also connect with you. And I encourage everyone who has the profile on Global World, share it in the chat, so it would be easy to connect faster. All right, the next person to pitch is Adam One Moto. Adam, you ready?
Yeah, of course. Good evening, everyone. So when you said Adam, you mean Adam Ridgway or?
I think it's you, Adam.
Yeah, it's good, mate. It is me. No, that's good.
Oh, yeah,
Thank you. So One Moto, we're a young, agile, lean, fast-growing electric vehicle startup. We're impact driven. We've got a mission to decarbonize the last mile delivery with 2- and 4-wheeled commercial motorcycles and vans. And globally, it's a booming industry with a growth rate of between 11 and 27% annually. So we address 3 critical problems: the environment, profitability, and the welfare of the gig economy across all stakeholders, and we've proven that. So we're building this EV ecosystem since we launched January 2020. We've got manufacturing, distribution, which we've entered 10 countries so far, another 26 in conversation, sales, leasing, battery as a service, software as a service, telematics, after sales. And we did something very different from a lot of other EV startups, Rivian, Rimac, Lucid, Arrival. We actually built products with our customers, got the certification globally, the traction, sales, modest international growth. We've proven ourselves in the market, and now we raise to scale. So we raise based on what we need as opposed to the high or potentially inflated valuations. Sustainability, we've got a very transparent, audited ESG pledge across our entire supply and value chain. We positively impact 15 out of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, won 6 awards, and one of them being the UAE's Most Sustainable Business of the Year. So where are we today? We've got a 5x growth rate year on year, 13x is forecast for the end of this year, $42 million in signed contracts, $450 million active pipeline, $92,000 average transaction value, 26 to 32% profit margins, very low new country entry cost of just $5,000, negative cash conversion cycle. We've secured access to $40 million in asset finance in the UAE, £123 million, $150 million in the UK, enabling us to lease vehicles. However, the working capital is required to increase production and to meet demands. So what's next? We're raising 10 mil against safe notes, or ACEs, as they are in the UK, because that's what the holding company is, drawn down in tranches for working capital, which will invest in 7 additional patents, other IP, SaaS enhancements, headhunted experience, and US market entry next year via Mexico. The 10 mil will return 100 million.
Adam, you passed time. Please wrap it up.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Yeah, 10 million revenue, 600,000 monthly recurring. And I'm Adam Ridgway. Thank you for listening. Love your questions.
All right. Dear investors, your questions?
Boom. I mean, monthly recurring. So you are, when you say monthly recurring, you're leasing the vehicles. That's what you're saying, right?
Absolutely. This is with the revenue, with the investment, it will allow us to further enhance these, the monthly recurring, which is the software as a service, battery as a service, so battery swapping, as well as the leasing, yes. Otherwise, currently, for the past year and a half, it's just been sales. Yesterday, we secured the 40 mil for leasing. So we're activating that in the UAE.
Okay. So yeah, this is actually very interesting to us. We are looking at there's a slew of last mile delivery companies that have launched in 2-wheel, 3-wheel, 4-wheel variations on this in terms of EVs. What's your price point and what's your maximum speed, by the way?
Well, with our price point, we've got several vehicles
Right.
because our vehicles are hyper modular. We've got a low range, low speed, high range, high speed, and you can upgrade them because they're modular according to your lifestyle, convenience, or your cash. So we're looking at between $2,000 and $4,000 is the price point on the electric motorcycles, and the vans are around $31,000.
When you say that monthly, is that the monthly? Is that what you're saying, or what are you saying?
No, CapEx purchase price, retail customer price is between $2,000 and $4,000. 2,000 being low range, 4,000 being high range, and in leasing is actually £3 a day. So I think that's about $4 a day. So it's hyper convenient and affordable. So it actually make the industry profitable from across all stakeholders.
Okay. All right. Very interesting. Right. So, and then in terms of the economics, what's your payback model for your customer? Is it against buying their own ICE vehicle, or what's the?
I love this.
Yeah.
This is almost as if I've planned you the question. The return.
Adam.
The return on investment in the UAE, which is where I'm personally based, riders doing about 250 kilometers a day. So the cost saving in fuel, maintenance, and servicing is between 3 and 5 months. Whereas in the UK, it's between 5 and 7 months because they do less mileage. So the more kilometers you do, the quicker that repayment is. When you decouple the battery and the bike or the actual vehicle, that's when that repayment will be exponential, because you get a £500 rebate in the UK, taking the price decoupled from the battery, you're taking the price down to about $500 per vehicle. And then you go on the monthly subscription for the leasing of the battery. So we're basically selling EVs without the battery ownership, which is quite attractive to the asset finance houses. Okay.
So so I'm trying to do the math here, but how many units have you sold so far? How many vehicles have you sold / leased / how many vehicles do you have out on the road right now?
There's 582 vehicles now. There's a pipeline of 44,500. And we've got orders from Amazon, Carrefour, which is a supermarket chain, Avis, right, car rental leasing. But one of the big issues we had in the UK and the UAE is that no gig economy company or fleet operator wants to have the asset on their balance sheet. So it's taken us a few months to find those asset financiers, which we've now done. So we're on that sort of traction to really meet that pipeline or start converting that pipeline.
Okay. Yeah, I would definitely like to follow up. Thank you.
All right, one shark is in. Congratulations, and we will connect you after the event today or tomorrow. Adam, if you have your profile on Google, we'll appreciate the link here. And what about the rest of the sharks? Are you guys in? Or?
Yeah, I have a question. Sorry, Arpan, go ahead.
What's the biggest challenge of being in this space, and then how are you solving for that? Especially there's so many competitors, especially regional competitors that you'll be facing in multiple different countries.
Yeah, if we take India, which is a market that we launched in 2021, and we had to pull out basically from a bad distributor, and we had to go legal on them. But the market in India, we set ourselves against Ather, which are the premium market. We are not cheap. We will not be cheap. And we'll never go into a price war through intelligence marketing, market positioning. So as opposed to $4,000, it will be 4,000 rupees a month, for example. That's sort of how we market in price sensitive countries. We've entered Nepal, Sri Lanka, Ethiopia, Kenya, Jordan, and Bahrain in the GCC. They're very price sensitive. So we're very clever on how we market, and we do that through the right distribution dealership partners. That's a competitor, if you like. What differentiates us is we don't just sell vehicles, it's that entire ecosystem. Not every country, like Chile, again, we've recently launched, they don't need the battery swapping because they don't do that many kilometers per day. And you can charge with any 3-pin sockets. You've got that hyper convenience when it comes to the vehicle. So in terms of competition, there naturally is competition, which is amazing. It's a $980 billion industry with a $22 billion market in the 10 countries that we operate. So the market opportunity is there.
And what's the reasoning behind being in so many multiple countries versus doubling down in one country, building a brand, and then trying to expand?
It's beautiful. That was our dream. That's what we wanted to do, build in the UAE and then build out from there very strategically. We launched in January 2020. 2 months later, the pandemic happened. And we had about a year and a half of customers saying, I want to lease, no, I want to buy the vehicles. And we thought, let's not chase the sale. Let's go for developing the relationships. And we built the bikes and the vehicles for our customers. Then we had that footprint. And then just by exploring with various different consultants, we then got that interest because other markets opened up quicker than, say, the UAE, which operates very differently as their gig economy to other markets. So we looked strategically, how do we enter Africa, the Middle East, which no EV manufacturer focuses on, as well as having hot weather tested vehicles. Let's look at LATAM, stretch out from LATAM into Mexico. That allows us into North America, as well as in Europe through the UK, manufacturing plant discussions in Sicily. When you go India, Sri Lanka, Nepal, that's pretty much taken the sort of route to the rest of Asia and Indonesia. So we've been very strategic entering markets that others haven't, but the market potential is enormous because of the way that we operate.
Thank you. Daniela,
Thank you.
Yeah, well, kind of Arpan address it, but so Adam, you have already launched in Latam, Chile?
Correct.
And how was the expansion plan, and how did it happen? And
so it happened.
Sorry, you're saying you're planning to expand later on to Mexico and the US?
Yes, absolutely. So the if we just talk LATAM, we grow. It only costs us $5,000 to enter a market, and that comes through working with consultants that are paid on success. So there's a company in LATAM called Goodwood Consultancy. They explored, did all the research. They found one distributor in Chile. They're having 2 dealerships, one in Santiago and one further south. From that, working closely with Dubai Chambers, we are in conversations for assembly plants in Argentina, Colombia, and dealership network, again, through Dubai Chambers, with Argentina, Peru, inclusive of that, Peru, Uruguay, Panama, Mexico, Brazil, but we might even have a domestic assembly plant built in Brazil for just the Brazilian market because of the trade barriers are fairly complex. And how we create an assembly plant is very, very modular. We provide all the IP, the know-how. It's $3 million to create a micro assembly plant, creating between 3,000 and 10,000 vehicles a month. They also provide the land and the shed, land and facility, which then enables them to get the various different subsidies, rebates, and so on. So it's a very low investment or capital investment and working capital in order to start seeing those returns. We don't believe in building massive, great big factories, but having more micro factories. Then you can domesticate the supply chain as in how you grow.
All right. Thank you very much. Except for Bill, any other investors would like to connect with this founder? All right. Thank you so much, Adam. We will connect you. And
thank you for your time.
Please create your startup profile on our platform.
Don't worry, I will.
Fantastic. And the next person to present is Fabio. John D. From company Abi.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. You got 2 minutes.
Okay. Great. Thanks, everybody. Okay. Abby is a new smart wheelchair launching at the intersection of the $9 billion assistive mobility device market and age tech sector. Rather than yet another mobility scooter or folding travel wheelchair with tiny wheels or handlebars, we based Abby on the traditional rear-wheel drive format, however, updated with machine vision, cameras and sensors, and IoT to increase safety, extend the reach of family and caregivers, even help combat loneliness. Abby's versatile wheelchair format, so users can still be pushed from behind, self-propel with power assist like pedal assist on an e-bike, or use Abby with the joystick as a full electric, and that makes Abby like having 3 wheelchairs in one. And connectivity means we can transcend hardware economics and deliver future product innovations by subscription right from the cloud. Abby's priced below $4,000. That's a little less than half the price of the handful of premium comparable products on the market today, yet we've got significantly more advanced technology. We're selling Abby direct to consumers online as a personal electric vehicle rather than a regulated medical device, relying on paid digital marketing and trade shows for sales. Our base plan ships 40,000 units over 5 years, scalable growth, gross margins approaching 80%, 25% EBITDA on 100 million in year 5 sales. However, we'll be profitable after 1,000 units are shipped in around 20 months. Founders have bootstrapped Abby from a concept right through initial production. We've met our unit economics targets. We did a 6-week pre-launch campaign validating demand and product fit. We generated dozens of pre-order deposits, and we've got 1,500 waitlist subscribers now. We've got a Regulation D 506C, 250K seed round up on Figure Equity. Started last week. It's 30% funded, and I'm happy to share the link with any accredited investors who wish to help us democratize powered mobility.
Right on time. Thank you so much. The investors, your questions.
What's the price difference between like this and a normal electric wheelchair? Because I know you said this one costs like 4,000. So
right.
What does a normal one cost?
So a big 400-pounder that you need a ramp and a minivan for might cost 3,000 to 40,000, depending on whether it's Stephen Hawking's chair or a Pride Jazzy, quick and dirty. But there are a handful that can be self-propelled. It's quite there are only a handful of products that can still be self-propelled and be used as motorized. They typically cost $6,000 to $8,000. And they are really add-on kits for your existing $2,000 titanium or carbon fiber chair. So a chair that can achieve self-propelling with power assist and full electric propulsion is actually a very niche category, but it allows us to sell to all the manual chair buyers who can't afford those solutions. So we are actually going to be putting a lot of downward price pressure on a very high demand category.
And who normally pays for the wheelchair? Is it the person individually or is it insurance?
Well, there's 200 million adults worldwide with reduced mobility. The industry status quo scarcity model caters to third-party payers, national healthcare and private insurers. And to give you an idea of the underserved market, they manufactured only 2 million such devices in 2020. So there's a massive unmet need. And so that status quo healthcare regulated distribution model is effectively keeping 90% of the potential buyers in manual chairs and depriving them of powered mobility. It's a travesty.
So I'm not sure if I heard the answer though. Is does insurance cover this?
So of that $9 billion in total turnover,
No, your chair.
We're initially, so in the first year, no, it's going to be a personal electric vehicle, not a medical device. But for product liability cover, purchasing power, as well as to not turn away customers who do have insurance, there will be a cleared variant of Abby in our second year. So we will accept insurance, but we're not going to launch that way.
And what is the split of sales between the insurance versus the non-insurance ones?
So in our business plan, it's going to be 70 over the 5-year plan. It's going to be 70% direct to consumer out of pocket.
And what's the current market like?
So the categories that we are competing with are dominated by out of pocket. So we're competing with high-end titanium and carbon fiber manual chairs, which insurance don't cover. That's an elective, right? So we're selling into a $2 billion category that is 80% out of pocket, and we're coming in with a disruptively more mass market product into that power add-on category. So yeah, it's a nuanced market. There's a bunch of categories. It takes 5 minutes, but I have a great slide deck for that.
Thank you. Are there any investors interested to connect?
Did you mention your traction numbers?
So we have just manufactured our first 30, and they're placed in paid pilots. So we actually just finished the molds and the tooling in December last year, manufactured 30 units, and I've got half of them in paid pilots right now. I can't start selling until I fund the ability to prime my product liability insurance coverage. Customers have to sign waivers right now, which is not scalable. So I'm going to use 70,000 of the 250 note that I'm raising right now to prime my product liability underwriting. So I'll start selling, but I have an order book of about 40 deposits, $99 deposits, and I have 1,500 subscribers on a wait list.
I'll be out until more traction, which is going to be the typical answer to a lot of startups, a bit more traction so that our money comes in as accelerant money, not build or experiment money.
Cool.
All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. If any would be interested, we'll connect. Please stay till the end and share your startup profile on Global World here. We will we are moving on to the next founder, which is, as far as I remember, just a second, it's Fabio, I guess. Yeah, Fabio Caroni. Fabio, you ready?
Yeah, sure. Hi, thanks for having me. My name is Fabio. I'm the founder of Bite Night. Bite Night is a deep tech software startup. We are building the world's first virtual supercomputer that is powered by any device instead of server farms or data centers. So we are starting from the statement that the computing power that we have today is insufficient. Intensive computing is skyrocketing, so the demand for CPU and GPU computation is increasing at the highest rates ever. We have a global chip shortage and we have a cloud monopoly. So the monopolization of computing power by cloud providers has given rise to manipulation problems and poor data security. So our model really lets anybody that has a computer or a smartphone or a server to join in our network, share the computing power, and earn money and rewards. But on the other side, we offer applications that uses enormous computing power altogether to tackle intensive tasks like video encoding, AI inference, and 3D rendering. So our customers are online media platforms or video broadcasting companies that are looking for faster processing of their video assets. And the market is huge. Our serviceable available market is 20 billion, and it's the video transcoding, 3D rendering, and computer vision markets altogether. And our business model, it's quite simple because we get all the revenue and we distribute 70% of it to the workers, so the suppliers of the compute power, and we keep 30% as a gross margin. Very quick, our traction so far, we just released a product in the beginning of this year. We had 500 plus user requests, and we have signed 3 partnerships in the media space. So we are, onto a good start. But we are seeking a seed round of 3 million to improve product development and boost sales and marketing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Right on time. And your question, Sharks.
What is your background in high-scale computing?
My background is in mathematics and data science, and our team is composed also of experts in distributed systems, in particular our CTO. And we have been advised by a number of companies, including Gartner. So we did this huge, we spent a lot of time in research and development, I guess, was it at the beginning of 2022. So we kind of also learned about this space, which is kind of new, but at the same time is it hasn't been explored for a long time.
Gotcha.
Well, actually, so one of the challenges of being around for a long time is that you do keep seeing these waves of themes, and so yeah, this is, at least, I don't know. I mean, I've seen this happen twice before. I mean, so in the 90s, when the internet first came out, the idea of sort of federated computing sort of started. Did not work out too well, and then finally we got a little bit better in terms of bandwidth and all of that. And I can't remember when the last wave was, but a whole bunch of companies, we're gonna connect all of the computers on the planet. And then we had the next wave was, believe it or not, they were going to connect everybody's smartphone because of all the unused compute power in the smartphone, right? The chip in this is better than the chip that put man on the moon, right? So, I mean, this has happened in waves before, but it's never quite played out. What did you learn from history?
Sure. So there's a section, just in case you want to read it in our white paper, that describes all this heritage of computing. I think what you're mentioning is like SETI at home or Boeing, one of those
SETI was probably the most popular example of it, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And then people, go ahead.
A few distributed computing projects kicking off in the early 2000s, from these universities like Berkeley. They were great for research, and they actually paved the way to cloud computing with all the protocols and everything, but they were really not meant for commercialization. They were basically research projects, and they were very cool, but nobody ever thought of bringing them. Well, actually somebody did, but not in the right way. So they were always relying on the volunteer computing of the suppliers, right? They didn't pay off at all. So that's the first element, I would say. So the ability to create a sharing economy where the actual suppliers of the computing power get rewarded. And the second thing I've searched and found is that most distributed computing projects today are blockchain based, so decentralized applications, which is, you know, a very good paradigm for an amount of things like fintech and validation, etc. But when it comes to processing, the actual processing is done in a side network, not on the blockchain. And these blockchain projects are hindering the possibility of being more efficient in computations. We can use blockchain and we can coordinate, we can like manage the whole workload efficiently with a patent pending algorithm without needing, you know, n squared validations every time a task is submitted to our network. So it's the other aspect is definitely like centralization of the computing.
Fabio, thank you. Appreciate that. That's it's a long answer, but if any of the investors interested to connect, we will connect. Are there any investors interested? I guess, you know.
So Fabio, I think it's a long shot for us to invest, but you know, just out of curiosity, I'd love it if you could sort of just keep me informed of your progress. You know, just because it seems like something that should have happened that hasn't happened, but I'll be interested to hear how you progress.
Awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll be in touch.
Once Shark is in, we'll connect. Thank you. Moving on. Thank you,
No.
Oh.
I will say no because I've done billion scale code and it's not achievable. You master slave setup when a node fails and you're gonna have to send data over latency. You're limited by the speed of light. This is why it hasn't been done. This is why blockchain is doing high processing off speed. This isn't a possible thing to do at scale. You're going to do it for light load workloads only, not supercomputer level.
Thank you. Moving on, and the next person is Hans. Hans, you ready?
Hi guys, yes, I'm ready.
You got 2 minutes, go for it.
Great. Hi guys, my name is Hans. I'm CEO and founder at Nuffi. And I have a question for the Sharks. Knowing what you know about me, my name is Hans and I'm from Mexico. I'm a CEO from Nuffi. Can any of you guys reach out to your checkbook and write me $1 million check right now? What about you, Jeremy? Any takers?
No, I cannot.
No? Okay, so, and that's fine. That's completely fine because you don't know anything about me. And every process that we do every single day, it starts with trust. Every single time that you open up a bank account, that you ask for a loan, that you hire somebody, that you want to invest in somebody, you need to verify that person and check who he is. And in Latin America, this is a very expensive manual process that takes days to complete. And that's exactly what Nuffi solves. What we do is we verify the identity of any Mexican person or company, and we provide you with a report, with a background check that has all of the relevant data for you to make a safe and quick decision. And the difference about Nuffi are 3 things. The first of it is that we are very easy to use. With just a picture of your ID or your basic information, name, birth date, and those kind of things, we're able to give you this full background of Hans's identity. And the second thing, which is really important, is that if you come to Latin America, there are no readily available data sources for you to look for information about Hans. So we built all of those data sources. So we have more than 130 data sources that we have processed in Mexico, and we provide more than 40 services for companies to consume that information. And we are also very easy to work with as well. Operation-wise, you can go into our portal and execute a background check, yes, but you can also use all of the models of information, the APIs, and integrate them into your own platforms. So cool thing about this is that, yes, we're making money, and we make money in a very easy, straightforward fashion. We charge our customers for a prepaid package of background checks or API calls. We typically charge $10 per background checks or a couple of US cents, 2 or 3 US cents, depending on the API that you guys want to execute on.
Hans, you passed time, please wrap it up.
Yes, we have a lot of clients in the fintech sectors who are profitable. We are an alumni from Techstars Western Union and from the Google Accelerator in Miami. And we want to become the first alternative data information bureau in Latin America. And we're on our way to do so. Thank you.
Thank you. Great pitch. Dear Sharks, your questions.
Thanks, Hans. What's for the current customers or your potential customers, what's the current way of solving this problem?
Okay, the current way of solving the problem is doing things manually. So if you're a fintech in Mexico, you either have a very small army of people typing things, or you have some type of digital onboarding process with Jumio, Betty for Incode, but they only give you the digital onboarding process. They don't give you the full file and of information that you need to make a decision. So it's really manual.
And the mode that you're building is that you're building this database where people can just sort of pull in information from and make their lives easier.
Well, we're actually accessing and providing the databases as it is right now. You can access it through an API, or you can use the ready-to-use platform in our portal.
Okay.
Hans, can you elaborate more on the data sources?
Yes. Whenever you're trying to get information about people, you have formal data sources from the government. So that is the National Population Register, the Mexican IRS, the blacklist and whatnot, the voters ID that we use a lot in Mexico. And we have made digital several ones that weren't digital before. We can provide all of the judicial background on all of the 32 states and federal wise. We can provide whether you are a stakeholder or a shareholder in a company and the amount of shares that you do have in your partners. We're also able right now to get a digital footprint of you, all of your social networks, emails, contact info, and whatnot. And a very important one is we're able to get your social security number, your employment history, your current salary, and if you're an employee or not. So for all of those companies that are coming to Mexico to hire people now with the nearshoring trend that we have right now, we can provide them with the security that they are hiring the right person and that person only has one job.
And how do you plan to scale? Can you discuss any partnerships or collaborations you have established?
Yes, we're actually right now, we closed the second largest bank in Mexico. I'm not able to disclose the name, but that's gonna up a lot of our API calls. We are working with Spin from from FEMSA Digital. We're actually working with Falabella as well. We just closed Farmacias del Ahorro, Home Depot, and we're beginning conversations with Walmart Cashi. So we have more than $3 million in pipeline for this year.
And how are you planning to scale?
Key account, we're just going after these key accounts. We're trying to get these 10 key accounts for the rest of the year, which are going to drive us to our goal. And for next year, it's going to be a little more of the same because we want 20 more of the largest operators in Mexico first.
All right. Are there any other sharks, any of the sharks interested to connect?
Yeah, I think the solution looks incrementally better than what already exists. So would love to learn more about what you're building.
All right, one shark is in. Fantastic. Okay.
Excellent. Thank you, Arpan.
All right. So thanks, Hans. Please stay tuned to the end, support others. And we look forward to see you on next events, of course. And we're moving on to the next person, which is Dulat Akan. Dulat, are you ready?
Yes.
All right, we got 2 minutes.
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Dulat, and I'm presenting startup company Y Quantum. The idea is to charge your car while you're driving by providing renewable source of energy. Currently, we have a prototype and 4 clients. 3 of them Tesla owner and 1 of them Nissan Leaf owners. We have now built a prototype. Our box And we this week we're going to finish, like next week we're going to finish our latest test, and yeah, the client is willing to buy this project, like product. And yes, let me describe product. The current product, so we are a space company, like aerospace company. So we are developing with space approach, the devices with space approach. And this charger based on space technology, it's increasing current of battery, for example, of source, of input source 2 times. And this is a new tech which is going to revolutionize the car industry, transportation. It's a lot of opportunities.
But if you pass time, just please mention the main parts and wrap it up if you can.
A main part, yeah. Yeah, now we are building we have electric car, a charger, a smart charger. And I'm looking the way to a little bit scale this product, and yeah, maybe 50,000 at least, like to scale production. And I have 2 engineers, which is helping me. My background is, I work for HP before December 2022, and so now I'm full-time, but I started 1.5 years ago. It was my hobby just.
Okay, yeah. Thank you a lot. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Dear Sharks, your questions.
Yeah, Dalat, it was just really hard. It was really hard for us to get exactly what you're doing, and maybe my colleagues here do have it nailed. But you say you're increasing the charge by 2. I mean, are you saying you're capturing more from regenerative braking? Is that, and from engine?
So what we do, instead of converting energy directly, we are creating energy, the process like cold fusion inside, but we called it electrofusion.
Oh,
so
wow.
Inside, yeah.
Okay.
So when we switch in polarity quickly, and what happening is electron is left from left side and right side with south pole and north pole, they colliding each other, and it's creating the birth of new electrons. And we are getting the higher amount of energy what we are using, and this energy we are using to charge basically cars.
Okay. So okay, I don't know. Anybody here it's I'm trying to understand.
What I seem to understand doesn't make sense, so I don't think I understand it.
What's your experience in the space?
My experience?
Aerospace, yeah.
The founder. What's your experience in the space?
I'll do that.
Yes.
Where did this come from? I mean,
yes, I'm originally from Kazakhstan, but I live in the United States 5 years already. I migrated.
So what company did you work at? Again, for everybody listening, the most important thing we want to hear, we need to hear from the startups is traction. So it's a traction of revenue or a traction of logos. And the second thing, if we don't have traction yet, then we care about the team, the founder and the team. We need to know what experience people have in doing this. When we hear pitches all day long of I'm building a car, I'm building a lemonade stand, we want to hear who the best is. The third thing is the idea or the product. And everybody's talking about the idea or product. The idea or product does not matter. It is not investable. The investable thing is you. So I need to hear your deep background and how you've done fusion or batteries or whatever. If you don't have traction, we need to dive into your background. And we need to have it clearly communicated, because that's how you're going to win customers, partners, investors, and employees. So if it's not clearly communicated here, you're not going to win the other 4 things. And we already know that ahead of time. Therefore, it's not investable if it's not clearly communicated.
Yes. Yeah, I start. Yeah.
Dolat, we will give you a chance to prepare for the next one. You're doing something great, and no doubt in that. Just I posted a link in the chat how to prepare for the elevator pitch. It's okay. I failed elevator pitches like thousands of times, but you can prepare and make it impress investors next time. And in the meantime, we will move on. And just come more prepared, and we'll be happy to see and hear your pitch. Absolutely, is it okay?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Fantastic. All right, and we're moving on to the next presenter, which is the first lady for today who's speaking, Justine Bezina. Justine, are you ready?
Hi, I'm ready. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. You got 2 minutes. Go for it.
Perfect. Hi, everyone. My name is Justine, and I'm one of the co-founders of Wags Unite. Wags Unite is the go-to platform for all dog owners and lovers. The main problem that we are trying to solve is the complexities faced with dog socialization and the lack of dog communities around. I know this because I'm a dog owner myself for the past 3 years, and I face this problem. Our solution provides a map-based platform that displays other dog owners in your area that you can interact with and request to hang out. This provides an easy and fun way to socialize your dog with a matching companion. To further improve the relevance for users, we provide a wealth of knowledge within the app for dog owners to learn from. Built on top of the social community is the capability for users to submit any dog services that they offer, so other users can interact with it to book it and pay directly and leave reviews. We will introduce AI to this to enhance the whole experience of finding the right match in both cases. We operate a premium model to encourage a larger user base through the free version, which is the Hangouts part, which increases the opportunity for services, wherein we will get our revenue through a 4% commission per transaction. We are currently in the product development phase and will be launching in October, having already subscribers that are following our work and are excited to use our application. We're currently a small non-founded team and are looking for 200K to fund our product development. Nice to see you all, and thank you for listening.
Thank you. Right on time. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Sharks, your questions.
So, well, first question is, I didn't quite catch the name. It sounded like Rugsy Night or something.
Wags Unite, like the tail wags.
Wags,
yeah.
Wags Night.
Wags Unite.
Wags Unite. Okay.
Yeah.
So a very good friend of mine who is passionate about his dogs has launched an app called Dog Log.
Okay.
And he would love to talk to you to find out if what you're doing is complementary to what he's doing. But he's a dog nut. I mean, sorry. So
sounds like he could be my best friend.
he could be your best friend. So Wags Unite. Okay, yes, I will. Is your website up? I mean, can I?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Our website is live.
Shall we connect you, Bill?
Sure. But it's sheer coincidence. I mean, mine in terms of what comes to mind, it happens to be his birthday today. So, but
it's a birthday gift then.
Yes. Yeah.
You mentioned it's Dog Log.
Dog Log is the name of his app.
I would love to talk to him.
So one shark is in. We will connect you after the event there tomorrow. Fantastic. What about the rest of the sharks?
I like it. It just doesn't seem like there's any like sustainable competitive advantage. It does seem like something I would use.
Really?
Okay.
How did you validate the problem? Like inherently I feel like the problem is not big enough, or it's not as problematic more than like maybe people need like if really people want it, like they might have like a Facebook group or an Instagram group. But are there enough problem who are looking for a solution like this?
Yeah, I mean, I follow a lot of dog groups and I see lots of people trying to do this. So they're always posting like, hey, I don't have enough friends with dogs and I want to socialize and I don't know where I can take my dog because not everywhere is dog friendly. So our idea is that this platform will be the go-to place. So we have a lot of features in the pipeline, not just what we talked about, but another thing would be dog-friendly places. So you can open the map and see, hey, I want to go grab a coffee, can I take my dog there? And you can see that in the map. So any issue faced by a dog owner, you can see it there. You can get help through it there.
So the solution is like the map, like, because why can't the problem be solved through the group as well, right? Like if someone is saying I'm lonely, maybe someone else says that, hey, I'm in this area as well.
Well, from my experience, not everyone knows about these Facebook groups. Well, similarly, you can say not everyone will know about the app, but it's a bit difficult to organize. So our idea is to facilitate that whole process. It would be very easy. You open it, you see who is in the area live, and you can set exactly the point where you will meet. You set the time, you can chat. Facebook groups are a bit more manual. It takes time. You need to send a message. You need to wait for them to reply. Maybe you miss the message because you're not friends. So it just goes through your message request. So yeah, it's not the best solution. And I've tried that.
I think that's, I mean, I'm still not convinced. And also, I think the other problem is like, it won't have repetitive behavior. Like if you meet 2 or 3 people in your area that like doing this, they might probably like just go off the app, right? Like now they don't need to explore again of like new friends. So you might want to
That's just the Hangout part. And that's why we will expand the app so we can address different users' needs. So starting off with the Hangout, that will be the MVP. And we will complement that with knowledge that dog owners would want to know about. So they will keep going to the app and they will also share these, let's say, blogs of knowledge, and that will hopefully encourage other users to look at it and see what we're doing. But then also the services part, which is actually where we will get revenue from. So especially now with COVID wearing off, luckily, people are going back to work, and a lot of people have gotten more dogs over COVID. So they need help with dog walking, dog sitting, doggy daycare. So this will allow users to find services, but also post services that they offer for dogs.
Yeah, so I think I guess final comment, but I think it seems like it's more of a service sort of website where you're just using these elements as a lead gen versus a platform of actually making people meet versus, that. So I guess like my comment would be just make sure like you know what you're building for and then work to that versus having multiple different elements, because that might like just confuse the person that you're like your customer as well as you in terms of what you're looking to build.
Okay, thank you very much for your feedback.
My feedback would be, with 4% transaction fee, it's going to be really hard for you to get a nice CAC to LTV ratio on this. And you're going to need that because right now the current way that this is done, friends with dog friends, they're meeting at the dog park, right? And they're asking each other to watch, and they have to make sure that their dogs get along. So they're already doing that introduction. So you don't get to take advantage of a referral basis of this, because as soon as they talk, they're already bypassing your app. Your app specifically is for people that are not meeting at the dog park, not meeting out at friends, which are the 2 main areas that people are doing this for, sort of saying, hey, go watch my dog, right? So you specifically have to be capturing people that aren't already meeting, which means it's going to be done through some sort of ads. And then that means you have to have a good CAC to LTV ratio to finance that at scale. And it's a 4% rate, which means you're going to have to hit a lot of volume with this. And that means you're going to have a really flywheel type product. And that means you have to have really good engineers and good company operator experience. So I would focus on getting really good engineers, company operator experience, because it's going to be very nuanced in the calculations that you need to do. It won't come down to just a theoretical idea that wins this or not.
Thank you so much. That's really helpful.
Thank you. Are there more sharks interested to connect with Justine? Okay, Daniela, do you have any feedback from your end? Okay, thank you so much, Justine. Great to have you. Please stay at the end. You're doing a great project, and we loved it. I love dogs as well. Connect with investors.
Gideon, okay.
Say again, Bill. Sorry.
I'm just telling Justine that I will connect her with Gideon with Doglog.
Fantastic.
Perfect. Looking forward. Thank you.
And we're moving on. And the next person is Pavel Afanasyev. Pavel, are you ready?
Yes. Hello, everybody. And thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity to pitch today. My name is Pavel. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Northern Lights Entertainment. We are a game studio of 16 people. We're based in France, in Paris to be specific. And the positioning of our studio is that we take societal issues that have extremely high user engagement in real life, and we transform them into mass market games for the purpose of being able to farm that engagement in our games. The first game on which we're working has been soft launched in January this year. The name of the game is Nebulae, and it's a strategy game where players take collective control over various political regimes and are experimenting with new forms of political governance. Our traction to date is that we're already sales generating. Actually, even before the launch of our game, we were able to make over 45,000 euros worth of sales. And the sales are essentially cosmetic items that are sold within the game and that are made available for the players after the purchase. In addition to that, we, as I said, we're a team of 16. We're currently at the very end of our second fundraising round. We previously raised a 325,000 euros in 2021, and right now we are raising a 1 million euro seed on a 5 million euro pre-money valuation, and we only have 150,000 euros left to allocate to potential investors, with the possibility to oversubscribe the round. One other really cool thing that I would like to report to you, and then I guess we can go into the questions, is that we're currently able to recruit players 7 times cheaper compared to our closest competitors on the market. Our current cost per install is 50 euro cents per player, compared to the average strategy game on mobile, which recruits players for approximately 3.3 euros per head. Yeah, would love to connect with you, but also with other investors in your networks who may be interested in the games space. Thank you very much, and we can go into questions.
Right on time. Thank you, Pavel. The investors, your questions.
What's the price point?
Using kind of like these real world kind of like events and data and stuff like that. So, and then designing a game around it. So are you then like harvesting the data from that game, and can you like sell it?
So that's not exactly how it works, but it goes in that direction. We have actually recently been recognized by the French Ministry for Higher Education and Research for our work on modeling political regimes within our games, but also on observing the political behaviors that are displayed by our players, which have tremendous IRL, so in real life applications when it comes to, for example, citizen engagement, but also when it comes to designing public policies and testing these public policies at scale, which is not something that you can always do in real life. So we do collect the data, but we do not directly sell the data, but rather we can sell the insights from the data.
Okay.
We have also been approached by the French Ministry of Defense for the exactly same purpose, because it turns out that the French Ministry of Defense has an entire department full of analysts who analyze geopolitical and geostrategic risks, in addition to population sentiment analysis, and they're very, very curious about how political behaviors can swing in games and what implications this can have in real life as well.
Interesting.
Very curious, Bill, you mentioned earlier for some of the pitches that there are waves of things that you have seen over and over again. So is this something that you have seen before as well?
I mean, I'm going, way back to, civilization or whatever. I mean, as I'm listening to you, I'm trying to figure out who your target audience is. I don't think it's first-person shooters, or I mean, is it right? I mean,
it's not. It's a strategy game, so civilization is not far off as a target. Our target audience is threefold. First of all, we're approaching strategy gamers very naturally, but more importantly than that, actually, we have noticed that over 22% of our current registered player base actually self-describe as casual gamers, and they play games like The Sims or SimCity. And this is one of the reasons actually why we're able to have such a low cost per acquisition right now, is because the appeal of the game appeals beyond the strategy games segment.
Yeah, I mean, well, and again, it's always an issue of how fun is it and how replayable is it? And that's going to vary. But did you tell it? I'm not sure if I heard the monetization.
We're already sales generating, and what we sell are essentially in-game items of customization and quality of life, which is an extremely common model in the mobile games space. Once we reach critical mass of players, we're also able to do B2B product placement partnerships, which is something that the cinema industry has been doing for a while, and this model is currently seeping into the games industry as well.
Okay, and what sort of conversion rate? I mean, again, how many plays have you had so far across how many? Did I hear one game that you've released? How many?
Yeah, so we're currently in the soft launch of our first game, which is quite an endeavor given the scale and the size of the game. We currently have over 2.3 thousand registered players in the game, and our overall community, if we take our social media, is 6.3 thousand people. Yeah. And we have been playtesting the game since the end of 2021.
Yeah. So, I mean, God bless. I mean, that's I mean, to make money on this, you got to get extraordinary scale. So, yeah, that'll be interesting.
Thank you. Are there any investors interested to connect with Pavel?
Okay. How many minutes or hours are they playing per week?
Sorry, come again?
How many minutes or hours are they playing per week, and how many weeks are they repeating? Those are your most important metrics for a game.
Yes, so we are already able to report players staying for as long as D60 retention. This is obviously based on how deep the game content is. Our median session length right now is median player duration is 35 minutes per session, with extremely long tails on both ends.
And the retention was what? How many times do they come back on the 35-minute session median?
So the median number of sessions that each player does currently sits at 6.
I can chat with you afterwards and now ask more information.
Lovely.
All right, we have one shark in. Congratulations. Stay in the chat, and we're moving on to the next person. If no more questions. So thank you, Pavel. And the next.
Just one question. Daniel, will you connect us over email or LinkedIn or?
Yeah, email. We will connect you by email. There will be personal introduction after the event. With anyone investor speak.
Perfect.
Thank you. And the next person is Yi Meng. Yi, you ready?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, good. Hi, my name is Yi Meng. I'm the founder of cokarting.com. So when we shop online, and sometimes our friends and family far away from us, we cannot shop together, but the shopping online also now solve that problem. So that's why cokarting come to the market to solve online shoppers be able to shop together with their friends and family. And co-carding actually make the online shopping carts be able to do a group as well as the chatting feature inside your shopping cart. So you keep your privacy as well as you can social shopping with your loved ones like grandma and grandfather. So far we have 100,000 invest with our angel investor, and we have about 12,000 users with us. We are right now targeting for nonprofit and college students who live far away from their friends and family. And we also right now looking for more investors to join us. And so far we have a great team. We got a little bit of money in. Now we just looking forward to have some investors that local in the US to join our team. And if you have any question, let me know. And oh, by the way, the website is already done. So we're making the apps. So if you are interested, can just go on the website to check it out.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Right on time. And moving on. Dear Sharks, your questions.
Did you say this is group checkout?
It's a group chatting. So that meaning if you shopping for something, right, and you add the product to your online shopping cart, your online shopping cart basically have your friends in there. They be able to chat with you, comment, and they also be able to vote, so on and so. So it's more features than the current online shopping cart do.
What's the point in chatting with your friends in checkout? I thought you were going after a group checkout like Pinduoduo, which was like one of the fastest companies to 100 billion. They did a group
Pinduoduo, yeah.
Yeah. So
it is like, if you think about shopping, a lot of women shopping, like, you know, we share links, products link back and forth with each other to make decisions. We are capturing that to make a shopping easier rather than just send the links back and forth. Now you just add the products to your cart. Your friends sit in there. It's like your small group. And then they be able to give you comments. Hey, this dress is beautiful. This is not good for you. You know, all that kind of social feeling like we are shopping in the mall with our friends, have a conversation going on while we're shopping. So that's what we do. I mean, Amazon, Walmart, all that big company, they only focusing on buy, like make a purchase. That's why they invented one click and, you know, check it out. But for co-carding, we believe online shopping is more than just the buy. We can also develop or even build a stronger relationship with your friends and family. And that's what we're doing.
What's monetization?
I'm sorry?
What's the monetization?
Because we have a partner with Walmart, Amazon, and right now about 300 brands with us. We are a referral. So any products that they linked or collect in their cart will take them to the website to check out. But eventually, we will lock it out at least 24 hours of a purchase room for commission to us.
So it's affiliate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sounds like.
Yeah.
So okay, so there have, I mean, again, on the one hand, there's Pinterest, right? So in that sort of ilk, right, where you share things that you think are wonderful and you get feedback on that, but that's not really commerce, right? Then
correct.
And there have been a few people who've tried to do this. You know, there was I want to say shopping together or shop together or something. Does this ring any bells in terms of the other guys? Okay.
Yeah, we do have a competitors, which is a lot people that start up using Zoom like or shopping party. But the problem is when we shop online, we love the convenient. When whatever we want to shop, and that convenient actually captured with the co-carding, because when your friends add the products in a cart, it doesn't need you to be at the same time to chat or to be there. So you be able to, when whatever you have time to take a look over the product and test back, hey girl, I like this. Do it, you know, or hey, I hate this. Let me get something else. And I actually can add a product inside the cart so my friends see, oh, I like this much better. You know, like shopping for a wedding gown, shopping for birthday gifts, shopping for any special events. This is also helpful.
Well, right. It puts the commerce into Pinterest in a sense, I guess. I mean, it means, you know, but okay, all right, interesting. And I'm sorry, in terms of your traction, where are you now in terms of GMV? Or, I mean, your partnerships are extraordinarily impressive, but what I heard you say now is you just signed up for their affiliate fee program, right?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have to put any code into their sites or anything like that, right? So it's just an affiliate fee program.
Yes, we put a code on our websites. Yes,
right,
so can take the product. That's why we can quickly scale, you know, from no product to about right now 4 million products. So with our partner, because they also tracking on ever clicks and the commission as well. So
where
and
what is
our
your these days? I mean,
so our users actually about 12,000 users.
okay.
Well, we all have a revenue.
You don't have revenue yet?
We have a revenue. We have a little bit, but because of the commission, it need to be scaled for users. And this is also social platform. So it's not like we're going to make a deal for like $2,000, just one deal. So commission and social, it's a little bit of different strategies than the other, SaaS model.
Understood. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any sharks interested to connect with you?
I have another question. So I'm kind of wondering if there is a current market for this, or is this just a good to have like kind of facility?
Yes, because you see the trend that most of the online shoppers, we actually interview over hundreds of the early on interview for online shoppers. All of us that either receive or send the links to your friends and family. I mean, if you shop online, you must have done that. And because the way of online shopping is on like Amazon, you can shop, but you cannot chat with your friends. You cannot connect. And there is a big invisible wall, right? And now we are co-carding to break through the wall. Now you'll be able to shop on Amazon, Walmart, and all other brands in one location. Plus, you'll be able to connect to your friends and family in this one co-carding, one cart. So now you can not only shop, but you can actually socializing while you're shopping. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's a total design for female, by the way.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And we're moving on, and we will connect you with any of the investors who would be interested to connect. We also have investors in the chat, so please share your details, your GGW profile, and we're moving on to the next ones. And the next would be Artur Karapetyan. Artur, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay, you got 2 minutes.
Hi, I'm Martha, the founder of Text and Pay Me. We help companies stay relevant and always timely. Before founding Text and Pay Me, I worked with several banks and telcos, and I was able to identify 3 fundamental problems: social engineering fraud, lack of user intent data, and user experience. Text and Pay Me is an AI-powered payment keyboard SDK that combines seamless payment experience with the simplicity of a keyboard and, most importantly, advanced security. So why keyboards? A, we use them daily, on average 3 hours, and B, they work in any app. And to make a transaction, you can open any app, use text or voice commands to say send $20 to Anna, and securely approve the transaction. But the true value, bring the engines. We have 6, but I'd like to focus on 2 of them: the real-time fraud detection and recommendation engines. Imagine someone sends you a link through a social network or a messaging app. Our keyboard can immediately analyze the link and alert you if that's a malicious one. And even if you accidentally or somehow decide to open the link, our keyboard will literally prevent you from typing and sharing any sensitive banking information. The recommendation engine can analyze the user data offline, and without storing or sharing it, make 99% accurate recommendations. And the magic is we're GDPR compliant and zero knowledge. We're a 500 global portfolio company. We closed our pre-seed round in February. We already operate in Armenia with a top bank. We have 3 clients in total, and now we're closing a deal with Orange Money Africa that covers 17 countries. And our team grew from 3 people to 22. That's it.
Thank you very much. Dear Sharks, your questions?
You said key, are you selling a hardware keyboard?
No, it's a mobile keyboard for Android and iOS platforms. We're now also developing the one for Linux and Mac. So it will be available for laptops as well.
Okay, I've done AI on a project with the FBI and Secret Service for fraud, and there's a lot of softwares already out there that do instantaneous fraud detection transactions in 30 to 50 milliseconds. So I don't know that that's a differentiator here. Malware, there's also that as well. So I'm not seeing what exactly is the differentiator here. Maybe you can illuminate.
Yeah. Okay, so the point is that, correct, there are lots of applications and there are lots of solutions that can instantly detect fraud, but the main differentiator is the keyboard itself. And social engineering is an art. Like, people convince you to give out that sensitive banking data. And unfortunately, the fraud detection systems are not in the social apps where these scams and frauds are happening. And the keyboard is the application that you use to type this info, right? And when the keyboard detects that you're about to share any sensitive data, it alerts you and it prevents you. And if for some reason you are happening or ending in a Venmo-like scam or Cash App scam or Zelle-like scam, which is very common in the States, our keyboard, again, will prevent you from typing or sharing any banking information, because social engineering is a human interference into this process, and the keyboard is the tool that you use to share that information. That's the main differentiator.
Okay, so I get the blocking of the keyboard. That's fine. I wouldn't spend too much focus on that, but more the unit of you actually blocking social engineering. If you can do that, well, great. What is an example case of how you kind of handle that, or read social media platforms, or what is that example case that you're taking? That's your entire company.
I didn't quite get your question. Do you want me to bring a use case or an example where it can work?
Yep, one example. One brief
Okay, one brief example. In our country, like, again, as I told you, we're working with one of our top banks. We have a very common fraud case where people send our online shop's link that is seemingly the link of that official shop, and they encourage the person to follow the link and to make the purchase, or they want a price and they need to input their banking card information to get the price. And whenever the user is following some kind of suspicious links, we prevent them from typing this information, because the keyboard is able to check in which application the person is at that moment, whether it's a trusted link, it's a trusted application, and if the logic and the previous conversation matches the fraud pattern, then the user is notified that they should not engage with that chat window with that person, and especially they should not input any details, and the keyboard immediately like blocks the input.
So there's already a lot of software that does that, and all they would have to do is add a blocking feature into some sort of keyboard, so that's not a defensibility thing. What is one social example aside from a link scanning, because that's already done by a lot of software companies in billion size?
Next is just a regular conversational where they pretend that they're like, we have lots of groups where parents gather for their like children education and stuff like this, and there are some people who encourage the parents to share or to type their bank card informations right in the groups so that they can gather some money for someone's birthday gift. And there are lots of cases that people accidentally and unintentionally can share their banking information. And the point is that because the keyboard is in these conversations, we are able to detect and to recognize that prior to happening.
So it would block you from sharing your credit card information in a group setting. What about a one-on-one? What if somebody wanted to override it?
If you want to write it, you will get the notification, but still you always have the option to disable the blocking function from your banking application. But again, it purely depends on what that specific bank needs, because we provide the SDK to the bank integrates it into their mobile application, and the settings and the exact configuration of the fraud detection engine is decided with the bank. So A, it can block and prevent you from typing at all if it's not a trusted source. B, you can still have an option as a user to share that information if you find it safe.
Okay, I'll pass. I'm not seeing much of anything here.
All right.
Yeah, Arthur, you appreciate that requiring this keyboard, I mean, just adds so much friction to your business model. And so if, you know, where Jeremy's going is if there's a software solution that can be differentiated from, you know, the various fraud detection approaches, that's a much more interesting business model to fund. But funding a keyboard company is going to be, God, it's going to be really hard. I mean, it's just hard to imagine anyone sitting at home saying, boy, I should go buy a keyboard to protect myself from my own idiocy. Right? That's what you're saying.
I would say that in the defense of the company and the product, I know that there are lots of different companies that are trying to displace banks. And one of these examples is Venmo. They're providing a much better user experience. And why we're happening in more fraud scenarios, because people discuss their financial matters and topics in the social media and social apps. And the banking apps are unfortunately not bringing the frictionless user experience and the seamless user experience. And that's also the gap that the keyboard fills, because like WhatsApp payment is one of the seamless ways to send money, right? Because you're in the conversation. When you need to send money in that conversation, you can do that. But in other instances, you will have to switch back to your banking app to make the transaction. And this is the user experience gap that we're bridging as well. Because you're right, there are lots of other fraud detection companies that probably make more sense, but still they're not in the conversations. And the keyboard is the only app that can be.
Arthur, thank you so much. You got to wrap it up.
Thank you so much for your feedback.
Are there any sharks interested to connect with Arthur? Okay, thank you, Arthur. Appreciate that. And this is the time when I'm putting back myself on the screen. And here you go. We're about to wrap this up. That was a fantastic event, guys. Thank you for all your pitches, amazing, brilliant pitches. And it's always hard to pitch without slides, especially within time frame. And I'm behind, like pushing you to stop. Sorry about that, but this is the way we try to get everyone to pitch. Now, this is the time when investors would close the session today. And those who didn't pitch today, you will get a chance to pitch next week. Just shout out in the chat next week, and I will let you pitch among the first. So let's go one by one from right to left this time, and give your final thoughts to the startups, these closing statements. Maybe we start with Jeremy, like your guys' short statements, what you have on your heart as your final recommendations to startups. Jeremy.
Cool. Yeah, for me, I'm a founder mentor, and I advise on these things and on pitches all the time. And it's you know, we don't need to condense the idea. A lot of founders are asking, like, how do I condense my large, big idea? And it's like, we want you to have a large, big idea, but we want you to be able to choose the order and timing that you release products and features. And it's not a long sentence to say I made $1 billion, or I made $1 million, or I made $100,000. And that's your most important part, is your traction. After your traction is the team. So really diving into why you're specialized into building this. And then third is your idea and diving into that idea. And when you do dive into that idea, showing that you've talked to customers and that they actually want this is really important. Otherwise, you can just get lost in that product and idea, and then you're building something that's not there. So if you guys show traction first, team second, idea third, in terms of importance, and you kind of dive into those areas, that's going to really help us be able to fund you. I love doing this. I'm probably more short and brief on these pitches, but I actually love doing this, which is why hopefully the feedback was helpful, and I can connect with anybody afterwards as well because I love this. So,
thank you, Jeremy. Great to have you with us. Daniela, your turn.
Thanks. Yeah, following on the same line as Jeremy, I would just add to keep in mind the clearly articulate the value proposition is the most important, and then demonstrating traction and sales and how you're gonna scale the business through a monetization strategy that would be sustainable, it's really, really important too, and be open to feedback. I think that's it.
Great to have you, Daniela. Thank you so much for your feedback and for being with us. Hope to see you next on next events. Bill Reichert, your turn.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I got to say, I do think, and maybe this is credit to Daniel and to the GGW group, but each month as I join this, I do see that the entrepreneurs are getting better and better at doing their pitches. But so I'll give credit to you, Daniel, for that. But following up on Jeremy's and Daniela's comments, yeah, I disagree. I'm gonna, just for the sake of argument, disagree somewhat with Jeremy that yes, your traction your traction is obviously critically important, but to Daniela's point, really the core is you've got to present a compelling value proposition that is something that nobody else can do. And then your traction is your proof. It's not your point, right? Your traction is your proof. So yeah, it's, but so many of the pitches are spending so much time describing the product. And in, several cases, we didn't get to the traction and sort of till the end, if at all. And so to the group out there, listen to Jeremy and Daniela and, get these big points out there up front. And then we can follow up on the details later. But if you don't grab our attention with a compelling value proposition and proof of traction, it's going to be really hard for us to be paying a lot of attention, frankly.
Thank you so much, Bill. Great to have you with us. And we made it right on time. So,
okay. So my apologies. I am going to have to jump. Oh, and I my shameless promotion. I don't know if I've done. Can I do this or write it? So I did write a book. I wrote a book called Getting to Wow: Silicon Valley Pitch Secrets for Entrepreneurs. So then, Daniel, if you could promote that, that would be great. But I gotta jump.
Yeah,
okay, thank you.
Your link to Amazon here and on our global community, we definitely will support you. Absolutely, we support all of the investors. Thank you. Great to have you. Arpan, your turn.
Yeah, no, this was the first time for me at this event. Really enjoyed it. Daniel and the team, I think you guys put up a great show. So kudos to you guys. Just my comment, I think building up on Daniela's, Jeremy's and Bill's point, I think everything else is okay, but I heard what they are building, but I feel I missed the why. What's the problem validation, right? Why do we care about this problem? How big is this problem? And then you build up on how is their solution incrementally or a game changer for the industry? How are the incumbents doing it, and then how are you doing it? And why is it so much better? But I think you really need to hone in on why are we solving this, right? Why are we solving this? Are we solving this for a consumer? And if we are solving it for a consumer, then why is it a game changer for them? So I think if we start honing in on that, it really catches the attention, and then we can dive deeper into the traction and the history of the product and all of that good stuff.
Thank you, Arpan. Great to have you with us, and hope to see you again on the next events. Matthew, you would be closing the final GGW Sharks 2023 of the meet of 2023. So no pressure on you.
Yeah, no pressure.
Yeah, and
nice. So I will say that it's great to see so many startups from around the globe here, and not just kind of from San Francisco or the United States as a whole. It really gives a lot of credit to Daniel that he's able to kind of draw from the entire world and not just a specific region. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Without you guys, without investors, without great startups here, this event wouldn't ever happen. And I really appreciate everyone's support of us on social media. Let's not allow Facebook and Google charge us for making advertising. Let's support just promoting it within the community, and so that will give you possibility to connect with great investors. So some people had some struggles today with pitching, and I posted a link how to make an elevator pitch within a minute or two. So you see my example, maybe it will help you to create your own. And thank you everyone for being with us today. I really enjoyed this conversation. Investors were great, startups were great. I really admire everyone being here. Create your profiles at Go Global World. You can continue matching with startups and investors in there while we are waiting for the next event. And the next one will be next Friday. Thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of the day. Have a great weekend. See you soon. Goodbye.
Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.